What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com coming to you for Wednesday. It is the 3rd of March, 2021. Got a good little video for you guys, free play recap for what we did on Tuesday and tell you what we've got going on. First and foremost, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Join this big family of ours so we can start getting you winners day in and day out. And then obviously hit the notification bell so that way when you do subscribe, you don't miss out on anything that we put out there. You get a notification every time we go live, we do a video, anything, promos, anything like that, you will be notified. And then, as always, guys, most importantly, hit the like button. We appreciate it more than you know. When you hit that like button, it allows YouTube to push this video even more. I know I say it every day. I sound like a broken record, but you guys don't understand how much we do appreciate you smashing that like button. If you like it. If you don't like the video, then don't hit it. But if you do, show us some love and smash that like button. Now, what we've got going on for Wednesday, the most important thing to talk about is March Madness, college basketball. March Madness is upon us, guys. We've got a small conference tournament that begins on Wednesday. Obviously, that one doesn't mean a whole lot, but here in the next week, over the course of the next 10 days, we have the big boys, the ACC, the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, the Big East, the Pac 12. All of these conferences are going to be starting their conference tournaments. And while a lot of people associate March Madness with just the big tournament, the big dance, that's all they consider it. That's not all March Madness is. March Madness is conference tournaments all the way through the national championship. So our March Madness package is on sale. It went on sale yesterday. It's $199. And guys, you're going to basically get a month worth of basketball, but you're going to get every single premium pick and top play that we have in all of the conference tournaments, as well as the big dance, all the way through the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, the Final Four, and yes, the national championship. And just like every year, once we get down into the Final Four and that national championship game, I always tend to have some prop wagers, some really interesting, fun stuff that you can play for big plus money that will allow you to cash in even more tickets. And you get all of that included. The national championship game is obviously included. So you get every premium play and every top play from the conference tournaments all the way until someone is cutting those nets down and being crowned national champion. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we're going to have a pick in every single game of every conference tournament, but we have picks throughout all the conference tournaments. We'll have picks in the ACC, in the SEC, in the Big 10, in the Big 12. We'll have all of those things. And let me tell you something. Those conference tournaments, don't be fooled by what went on in the regular season. The biggest mistake people make, especially in college basketball, is they watch what happens in the regular season, or maybe they don't. They just go back and read about it and look. For example, let's use Kansas as an example. So last year, Kansas was the best in the Big 12. Some people may argue and say it was Baylor, but it wasn't. And then you have a team that's just poor, like a really poor team, like this year, Iowa State. And so teams like your Kansases and your Baylors, they skate through the regular season. They blow the brakes off of just not just most of their opponents, but everyone within their conference and in their division. And it looks like it's just going to be a walk in the park to be crowned the conference champion. Because again, they will crown a regular season conference champion, but then they go in and they have the actual tournament where somebody hoists the trophy. And so they think, oh, well, these are the best teams. They're going to skate through and win. And so many times, the best team in the conference does not win that conference tournament. Because so many times, the best team or teams in that conference are also locked in for a spot in the big dance. And a lot of times in conferences like the Big 12, the ACC, they're getting higher seeds. So that means that they're getting a really good first round selection, being able to play a far inferior opponent. And they really set themselves up where as long as they just stay focused and play, they've pretty much locked themselves into the Sweet 16 unless we have a very big upset. So I'm telling you right now, so many of these teams don't really focus on that conference tournament. They're worried about what's to come next. They want to be national champions, not just conference champions. But you have teams that either are not getting a spot in the big tournament or are going to be a very low seed, know that they really don't have a prayer unless something changes and all the stars align for them, that their big dance is truthfully that conference tournament. Because if they can win that, that's what they're out to do, because they know that there is just, it would take a miracle and then some for them to be able to win it all. So I'm telling you, not enough people talk about it, not enough people focus on it. We do. That's why we win. So make sure you get linked up, guys. All premium plays and top picks for the conference tournaments that we play, as well as through the big dance. So a ton of basketball action, $199. Now again, once we get a couple of days out from the actual main tournament, and that's all you're focused on, if you don't care about all the conference tournaments and stuff like that, we will sell just the tournament package for $99. But that won't come out until closer till tournament time, because we've got a lot of basketball to play before we get to that spot. So make sure you go to chasewins.com, get the March Madness package, let us put a ton of money in your pocket, make you a ton of profit, and then you can use that to get on something bigger, more long term. Maybe Major League Baseball, the best Major League Baseball in the business, my best sport by far, and something that you'll never forget. If you've never been on it before, trust me, you're missing out. So that's what we've got going on for Wednesday. Obviously, if you want to get everything else that we've got, NBA, the college picks that are going on right now because we're still in the regular season, the hockey picks, soccer picks, all of that stuff you can get on a 3-day pass, 7-day pass, 30-day pass, whatever you want to do. If you get on a 30-day all-access pass, obviously you will get March Madness picks when they start. So keep that in mind. Horse racing starts this weekend, guys. Horse racing, there could be premium and top plays as early as Thursday, as early as tomorrow. He is focused on 4 tracks for this weekend that he is zoning in on. He is actually going to be at Gulfstream Park this weekend. So Gulfstream, he's focused on 4 tracks altogether for this weekend. So there's 4 tracks. That means 4 different tracks with potentials of premiums and top play going from Thursday to Sunday. Now again, it can vary from day to day. There's no guarantee that there will be horse racing on Thursday. Weather plays a factor. We have to see which ones qualify, which ones are going to, actually come and they're going to be able, their checkups, if you will, the vets come out, make sure that they are okay to race to get medically cleared. So all that takes place. But again, at bare minimum, you'll have racing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But you may have some Thursday as well. So make sure if you're not on the horse racing season, get on that. Or, obviously, you can get an all-access pass, and all-access will include that. So make sure you take a look at that as well. ChaseWins.com. Make sure you jump on a winning package now. Let's get into a recap of what we had on on Tuesday. Started off rough for us. But we brought it back just fine. Started off with an earlier or a late afternoon game, I should say, Toledo versus Central Michigan. Now this game blew my mind. Toledo should have, been able to handle this team without really even putting a whole lot of effort into it. And they not only got beat, they got smoked. But now granted, at the very last minute, they changed some things player-wise. But even then, this shouldn't have even been that much of a competition for Toledo. And I don't know if they just didn't care. They didn't really want to play today. I don't know what it was. Mentally, you could tell they weren't there. Nobody that watched that game could deny that their head wasn't in it. Other than that, it was just a bad game for them. So we dropped the Toledo pick. Boise State was the free play that we gave. We gave you 2 official free plays yesterday. Boise State and Western Michigan. So we split those out. Boise State minus 13. I don't even want to say Boise State played bad. I have not watched about the last 6 minutes of that game yet. I'll go back and watch some of it either later tonight once I hop into bed, cut the TV on before I fall asleep. or first thing in the morning when I get up and I have my morning coffee. But up until then, I don't even want to say Boise played bad. They were playing careless, I'll say that. But I'm going to hand it to Fresno. They played well. They really did. They came out to play. They were not going to be pushed around. And so they came out, and Boise wasn't able to cover this. So we lost Toledo. We lost Boise. We also lost Wright State minus 13.5. That was actually what I gave the members only, so don't worry. I hadn't lost one of those yet. That was the first members only play that we've lost, so don't worry. I'll get you back. That'll be a no harm, no foul by the end of the week, I can assure you. Again, the free play losses don't come often, but again, we're not perfect. We're going to lose some from time to time. So, but then Western Michigan as a pick 'em, they actually ended up by tip-off being a dog. So they went about lunchtime on Tuesday. They were a 1-point dog. And then as high as 1.5, or then it was a 1.5-point dog about an hour before tip-off. And then I even saw it as high as 2. Northern Illinois laying 2. Obviously, if you got him as a dog, God bless you. We had him last night when we gave it out. Put it on the card as well as gave it out for free. We had him as a pick 'em. That was a nice win there. And we also had Texas Tech minus 11.5. Easy win. Again, college basketball losing days are very rare for us. Obviously, you guys get to hear the recaps every day. All the clients that are watching this, you get the play, so you know it. But they do happen, guys. It's not you can't avoid having them from time to time. So it wasn't great. Going 3-2 there wasn't the most ideal situation for us, but it happens. So, but like I said, started off kind of rough, but then we brought it back. So getting out of the NCAA, let's move on to the NBA. The only loss we took in the NBA was the Miami Heat. We took them on the money line, minus $1.25. We did drop that one. But then 2 more plays, 2 underdogs, both won outright. The Spurs plus 3.5 and the Memphis Grizzlies plus 2. Why both of those teams weren't favored is, again, I don't know what the odds makers are doing right now or if they're just trying to play mind games with people, but I broke these games down. I looked at all the personnel, all the changes, the travel, like I told you I was doing last night. The traveling was concerned with Memphis, and because of the way they've been traveling, to where they've been going, basically over the last week, their traveling has kind of been less than ideal, I guess you could say. Multiple traveling issues with that team. So I wanted to kind of see what happened. They didn't even get to have a morning shoot around. But everything taken into consideration, there's nothing justifying Memphis being the dog here and the Spurs being the dog. So we gladly took them. So we brought some of the loss back with that, going 2-1 in the NBA, and then we also had 2 premium plays in the NHL. The Columbus Blue Jackets in regulation minus $1.25 over the Detroit Red Wings. Never in doubt. I think it was a 4-1 blowout, so that one was an easy win. And then we also took the Canadians on the puck line minus 1.5, minus $1.05, a 3-1 winner, and then again a 2-0 sweep in the NHL. This one was one that I don't think people liked. I got a few DMs on Twitter that I saw. They're like, how can you go against Ottawa? They keep winning. Montreal keeps losing. And I think that most people thought that they were such a live dog, or Ottawa was such a live dog in this one. And don't get me wrong. Based on the way things have gone the last week, I guess you could say that they were. But guys, just because they've had a good week, they're not a good team. And just because the Canadians have had a bad week doesn't mean they're a bad team. This, if anything, was the perfect spot, primed and ready for a good team to get back to their winning ways and a bad team to get back to their losing ways. So that one was an easy decision. So we took a 2-0 sweep there. We had a 6-4 day overall. So like I said, we started off rough. We had those 3 losses in NCAA, but then we picked up 2 wins in the NBA, 2 wins in the NHL for a 6-4 day overall. So again, it isn't the best day. It isn't what I wanted. Obviously, I wanted to go 10-0, but you know what? I'll take 6-4. So anyway, let me pull some notes out real quick, and I'll get you on a free play. We're actually going to touch on a couple of games, but I'm going to give you one official free play. Check the line real quick to make sure that nothing has changed. Give me just 1 second. Let's double check this line. Make sure nothing's changed. I'll go ahead and check both of them. We're going to go over two of them. All right. 9 p.m. Florida State, Boston College. Again, not only is this game, it just seems rather obvious. This is another one of those spots where it's really good. It's a really good situational spot. Now, over the past week, I've given you 3 free plays where we've talked about the situation. Situational spots make the game even better. Make it one of the top reasons why we locked it in at the rating that we gave it. Here's going to be number 4. Now you think, Florida State versus Boston College. Is anyone questioning whether or not Florida State is better than Boston College? No. Nobody. And I mean nobody. But what you would ask yourself is a couple of things. Number 1, is Florida State 18 points better? And I don't think many people would argue that. Now, going into the season, I think Boston College themselves, their fans, the media, just the overall college basketball world in general, probably had a lot higher hopes for Boston College than it has panned out to be. What did I tell you the first day of college basketball season when I told you that Florida State was going to be the team to beat, that the teams on the come up, that were going to be the teams over the next 3 years you were going to hear more and more about, that were going to be the teams to beat, Miami and Wake. And who did I tell you that would be probably the biggest disappointment in the ACC and one of the bigger disappointments in the nation based on the hopes and the expectations they have going into the season? Boston College. I read off all of these expectations and these predictions of what ESPN and Yahoo and all of these experts said about Boston College. And I told you exactly what was going to happen. Now here we are at the very end of the regular season. Who's right and who's wrong? I've been right. They don't even know what to say anymore. One of those being Jay Billis. Yeah, he's a dookie, but I respect him. When he does his job as a media personnel, he's pretty unbiased. He doesn't worship Coach K, on TV or anything. And you know what? He's smart about it. He's a fundamental guy, and usually what he says, he's not wrong a lot. He doesn't get too in depth with things, but he knows what's going on. He truly follows it. Boston College just isn't there. I think the direction that the team was trying to go, not only is it not working, I don't think it's going to work. I think you're going to see Boston College make some adjustments in the offseason. They're going to be getting rid of a couple of players due to graduation. One of those players will probably end up in the NBA. So they're going to have some of those mid-classmen that are going to come up and kind of take the reins. I think that they're going to start pushing a younger crowd through there. I think they're going to have to. I think you may see a couple of internal coaching adjustments made, and I think they're going to have to change the way they do things, not necessarily starting over or starting from scratch, but really going back to the drawing board. Because what they've gone out there the past 3 years and tried to build up and do is not panning out the way they wanted it to. And if they keep going at this rate, it's only going to go downhill from here. But you would say, is Florida State going to care about this game? I mean, does losing to Boston College change anything for them, really? Does it change anything for what will happen with them in their seeding in the tournament? Well, it could. Will it make a drastic change? Probably not. Now, what will it do for them ACC tournament-wise? But then that goes back into, well, we just talked about usually the top teams don't care as much because they're looking ahead to bigger and better things. But I don't think that about Florida State. I think Hamilton's a great coach, but Hamilton also knows that as good as they are, and they're the best team in the ACC, does he really believe that Florida State can beat anybody out there and actually win the national championship? I think that he thinks that it can happen, and we know it could happen. They're talented enough to do it, but will it? Because are they the best team in the country? And the answer to that is a strong no. There are 3 teams just right off the top of my head that without thinking twice about it, without digging into any numbers, that I know that if it came down to them playing Florida State for, elimination in the tournament, Florida State's not going to get by them. One of those teams is Gonzaga. Another one of those teams I truly believe is Michigan. I don't think they would get past Illinois. Well, maybe Illinois just based on the way that Florida State plays defense. I don't think they would get past Baylor, to be honest with you. And that's because Baylor is a lot bigger than they are. And truth be told, let them play an ACC team in the tournament. I think that could be their Achilles heel right there. So I think that Hamilton, getting the ACC trophy last year, he won the regular season. Then they go and they get the trophy handed to him because it got called off on March the 12th, which, to be honest with you, go back and look at my videos. Who was my prediction to win the ACC tournament last year? My prediction was Florida State to win the regular season and win the postseason tournament. They won both. We don't know if they actually would have won the postseason because we didn't get to see it all the way through. They got handed the trophy. I think Hamilton knows that there's an asterisk right there. And I think he wants to prove that, listen, yeah, you might have handed us the trophy at the end, but we were the best and we proved it in the regular season, and we were going to prove it in the postseason. So I think that makes him want it more. Now you say, okay, well, what does that have to do with this game? Boston College is coming off of a win at home to Notre Dame. Now again, Notre Dame is nothing to write home about. They're nothing special, but they are better than Boston College. They are a lot bigger. They're a lot better at rebounding. And truth be told, as far as speed goes, they're not faster than Boston College, but Notre Dame slows teams down very well. And they have proven, and they slowed Boston College down well in that game. But Boston College got white hot from outside, and they ended up winning a game that they should have lost. Take it to the flip side. Go back to my live show on Saturday. Florida State versus UNC, my Tar Heels. Who's the better team? I flat out said it. It's Florida State. North Carolina's coming off that loss to Marquette. Florida State should obviously win this game, but I said this will be the team at home. First game of the season with fans back in the Dean Dome. Roy's going to show them what fundamental ball is. Hamilton knows that Roy's the best coach out there. He respects the shit out of him. But Roy's going to show him why he's a Hall of Fame coach and why he's the best out there. And North Carolina's going to win that game. And what did they do? They won by 8 points. So you have Boston College coming in going, holy shit, we just won a game that we shouldn't have. So let's try to go out there and do it again. Hamilton knows that. He's coming off of the loss to UNC, which really screwed the pooch on him being able to finish out his season on a perfect run. And then if he takes it and takes another loss to Boston College, now you're talking about big implications on seeding for the tournament. You're talking about what could it do to you to expose you for the postseason ACC tournament. That's where a lot of things can come into play. But the question is, can they cover the spread? Had Florida State beat UNC and had Boston College lost to Notre Dame, I think that this line would probably be higher, number one. And I think that Florida State may go in with 5 minutes left, lay off a little bit, allow some points to come, even though Hamilton is just like Roy Williams. If he can put a game away, he will. But we are so close to the end of the season. Would he not want to try to do some load management, pull some guys off, let them rest? Because once the regular season ends, now every game you play, you are playing to advance to become a champion in some regard, whether it be in your conference or whether it be in all of college basketball. In this game, I think he has to get his players back to a mental state where he says, you take no prisoners, you do not let a game go. If you can win by 40, you win it by 45. If you can win it by 20, you win it by 30. So the line's 18, and I broke the game down. It had Boston College lost to Notre Dame and had Florida State beaten UNC. This line would be 23-24 all day long without question, and that's what it should be. Florida State, premium play. They're going to win this game by 20 plus unless they decide to not play for 40 minutes. I am not giving Boston College even a shred of ability to win this game or keep it even close. So it's going to depend. Do we trust Florida State enough to play for 40 full minutes and give it all they've got? Because if they do, this game is this game is a blowout. Yes, I trust Florida State, and I even more trust their head coach. That's why, situationally, this game is just as good as it is by the numbers. Give me Florida State minus 18. You're going to lay $1.15 to do it. That one's already on the card. It's already locked in, and I love the game. One more for you, going back to the ACC. Syracuse coming off of the win at North Carolina. They're going to come in with their chest poked out again. Florida, I mean, this was UNC allowing Syracuse. I mean, they broke Syracuse's zone up so well. North Carolina allowed them to shoot from outside uncontested. North Carolina gave this game away. But don't think that that's not giving them a boost of morale. Boeheim has been shooting white hot from behind the arc. He is going out there leading the team in scores, leading the ACC in three-point percentage at this point. Clemson has been overrated from the start. Yeah, they've won some good games. They're still a band of misfits with their ringleader. And, I mean, their ringleader, Jesus Christ in heaven, he's an idiot. I don't know that I have ever seen a more incompetent basketball coach who coaches for a major university. I mean, he is an absolute buffoon. I think Clemson here, the only reason that they are only 2-point underdogs in this one is because I think even the odds makers knows that it was North Carolina's game that they gave away, and Clemson is still being given the benefit of the doubt because of wins that they have that they shouldn't have won, and the fact they haven't been run off the court too many times this year. Syracuse is better than them. And the one thing that's going to kill Clemson, and here's the thing, Syracuse is hard to beat at home. The Carrier Dome in any year is not an easy place to play. Now, again, it's a lot easier to play with no fans there, but the Carrier Dome is still not easy to play in, and Syracuse is tough to beat at home in any regard, in any setting. That famous Syracuse zone will not allow Clemson to fan out and move that ball around the perimeter. They're going to come, they're going to try to go around people, force it back to the inside. They're not going to have success with that. And what is Clemson known for? They are known for not being able to rebound the ball. Syracuse can out-rebound them. Syracuse is going to lock down on them on defense. And them being the home team, I think they get hot from outside again. The leading three-point percentage in the ACC is going to stay with Syracuse tomorrow and one single player. But I'm not laying the 2 points because we can lay 135 on the money line with Syracuse. So that's what I'm taking. So here's a recap of your two free plays. Florida State, minus 18. You're going to lay $1.15 to do it. And then Syracuse, on the money line, minus $1.35. If you can get Syracuse under 2 points, laying 1.5 or a single point, then you can take the spread to lay, obviously, less juice financially. That would be the better financial bet. But if you're going to have to lay 2 or more, I like that money line where all they have to do is win outright, because that is a game where if they let Clemson move around and they let them move around the perimeter, they can get hot from outside. This is a game that could go into overtime. I don't see it, though. I think Syracuse will make a statement tomorrow against the band of goobers that is Clemson University. Florida State, Syracuse, those are your two free plays for Wednesday. I love you guys more than anything. Smash the like button. Go to chasewins.com. Get on the March Madness package. Hop on the horse racing package. Get ready. Let's go ahead and make some money tomorrow, Wednesday, because we have a fucking huge weekend coming up. Jerry and I have already talked. He's waiting on some more information, hoping to lock in a huge game of the week. I may also have one, if not a game of the month, and it's in a different sport. It's not college basketball, and this is a sport where people have been asking me when I'm going to have one of those top-rated games, and we may end up having a doubleheader go this weekend. You want to be on board. I love you guys. Sorry for the long video, but I hope you enjoy the free plays. Hopefully, we're going to be live around 12 to 12:30 Eastern time on Wednesday. It really just all depends on how the morning goes and what time we get the card out. But I love you guys. Plays are already posted. We'll have more coming on Thursday or on Wednesday when they are ready. See you in the winner's circle, and see you back for another video soon.